In 12 states, including Nevada, they are suing to block Paramount's takeover of Warner Brothers Discovery. Nevada Attorney General Aaron Ford joining attorneys general from California, Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, and others in that suit that was filed. In a statement today, Ford saying in part, quote, "This merger threatens to reduce choices, drive up costs, and diminish the variety of movies and TV programs available to families. Nevadans deserve a marketplace where companies are incentivized to compete, delivering diverse entertainment, competitive prices, and even more innovation." California's AG, who is leading that lawsuit, said today not only is the merger illegal in their opinion, they called it a death knell for the film and TV industry.
This merger will mean fewer journalists informing the electorate. It'll mean fewer opportunities for Americans to hear the full breadth of information and opinions on a subject and then come to their own conclusions. It'll mean fewer documentarians, filmmakers, showrunners, producers, writers, and artists shedding light on important stories that too often go untold.
In a statement today, Paramount saying the deal will create a media company that's better positioned to compete with larger ones in this environment and generate premium content. The company has also pointed out regulators all across the world, including the DOJ. They have already approved that merger.